Welcome to the Urban Fire Project, a space where we talk about everything, past or present, to hopefully bring you the information before it's too late.
Time's up.
What's up? Back again with another video. Thanks for coming. But in case you was under a rock, we've been talking about Ja-Morant, aka Ja Wick, because this man has plenty of guns. So the backstory is the NBA suspended Ja-Morant back in March for about 8 games because of his behavior on social media, brandishing a gun, waving a gun in clubs, waving a gun, period, on social media. He was also being investigated for getting into a fight with a 17-year-old after a basketball game. The young man claimed Ja-Morant and his crew beat him up, punched him in the head, and pulled a gun out on him. Ja-Morant comments was self-defense. Ja-Morant's friend was on the sideline at an Indiana Pacers game versus the Grizzlies. Some smack was talked between his friend and the player. The referees threw out the friend. When the game was over, the Indiana Pacers were boarding their bus because they were the visiting team. They claimed red laser dots were pointed at their heads as they got on the bus. The NBA investigated it. They said they couldn't figure it out. Blah, blah, blah. Sources say Ja-Morant was in that vehicle that the beams was coming out of. The shenanigans of these young men. I get it though. They're silly. Ja-Morant's mom got into it with a Finish Line sneaker store employee. Called him and said, "My son will handle this light work." Meanwhile, he's in the NBA. He's a superstar. She calls him. She has a couple other reasons why she called him to other things too. But we'll just talk about this one. He shows up with 10 dudes. They trap the employee in the locker room. He calls the cops. Cops disperse it. Everything is over. That's under investigation. It's just, I don't know what's up with this guy. So by then, to save face, he checks into some kind of rehab intervention program. Stays for a couple days. He comes out. He does a couple press runs. He's apologetic and sorry. He says that guy's not me anymore. Okay, clearly it is, right? So, by the end of the season, which was like a month later, the regular season was over for Ja-Morant and his team. But once again, Ja-Morant was recorded brandishing a gun and turned up. This is a month and a half since the last situation he had. I don't know if his father's talking to him or his friends are talking to him, but somebody needs to talk to him. Probably an old head that he look up to. None of these guys that's his peers on other teams. Definitely not his friends. So, the NBA swiftly moves in, suspended him a couple days ago for all basketball activities. They suspend him from anything they got going on the off season. He can't participate in it. And I would like to say probably in the off season, closer to the season starting, the commissioner is going to step in and give him a certain amount of games off without pay. Some people say half a season, 30 games, whichever. An example needs to be made. Okay. So he got suspended for being irresponsible. It's big news. It's everywhere. Everybody's talking about it. And that's why I'm even talking about it. Some people defended him. They say Tennessee is open carry state. What about a Second Amendment? He's allowed to wave guns. Due to the amendment, that's all we do is wave guns down here. I hear you, but my pushback would be Ja-Morant is the one who signed the $200 million contract with the NBA and all his partners to carry himself accordingly. Not to mention, there's There's millions of kids that look up to him as a role model, whether he likes it or not. With all the high flying acts he do, with all the jumping and the fast running and the hair bouncing, and he got all kinds of kids that just enjoy his style of basketball game. He has to do better. But correct me if I'm wrong. If there's a chance you're signing deals worth $200 million, you're exceptional. You're a big deal in this league. You're a big celebrity. Everybody's watching you. You gotta be better at your choices. You can't be this irresponsible all the time. You can't be about that thug life. Your peers are rich people now. Your peers ain't the dudes on the block, the friends you went to high school. Your peers are now rich people. You got to carry yourself accordingly. And if you even made it to this level of basketball, you was never, ever a thug, because all you were doing was hooping as you grow up. You never had time for anything else other than just hooping. Especially, emphatically especially, if your father was the basketball coach. He was on top of your game early, like Venus and Serena dad, just always around you. So watch this video, because some people say this is the real Ja-Morant right here.
I've been through, but I know something about you. You went to Cranbrook, that's a private school. What's the matter, dog? You embarrassed? This guy's a gangster. His real name's Clarence. And Clarence lives at home with both parents. And Clarence's parents have a real good marriage. This guy don't want to battle. He's shook, cause ain't no such things as hot play crook.
But in all seriousness, Ja-Morant lost his endorsement deals with Nike and Powerade. Those two endorsements combined, they both paid him annually $20 million a year. They're gone now. He lost them. He's going to have to renegotiate later in life or down the line somehow. Because of the last stunt, he had already lost a $40 million contract, because he didn't make first All-NBA team or the second All-NBA team, which would have guaranteed him a bonus on his next contract. He was guaranteed to make an extra $40 million had he not had that first incident. Now, the second incident, which is now, that might mess up the next contract. People got to get in his ear. Some say Ja-Morant might be an alcoholic because he pops bottle everywhere he goes. He pops bottles everywhere they see him. He's just a bottle popper. He's celebrating life. He's enjoying life. Everything's at his disposal. People are at his disposal. He's got money. Nobody tells him no. He might think he's bigger than basketball. He might think the league needs him, but they'll replace him. His father has to really step in now. They say his family and friends are yes men because they don't want to get cut off for standing up to him because he's cocky. I can see that happening because it happens to people in all kinds of celebrities. People in all kinds of celebrity, they kind of, they get big head, they get cocky, and you tell them things like, oh, you're messing up my fun, you're a buzzkill, things like that, and they might cut you off and not want to be around you because they want to turn up and you like turning them off. Also, people are pointing fingers at his father for being a fanboy on the sidelines because of his antics, signing autographs, acting like he's the celebrity. People are wondering if he should have his butt up there sitting in the suites and not on the sideline dancing and being a fanboy cheerleader on the sideline for his son. He has to be a little bit more cordial and relaxed. But if he's on the sideline drinking and turning up too, how can he judge his son? Has to do better. Also, people are pointing the finger at his father because they think his son might get blackballed by the NBA and mess up a generational wealth bag. He can drop that bag. He can get blackballed because they can't replace you. There's always another celebrity, young, hungry to take that spotlight. And being as though the NBA is a private entity, they can build up whoever they want and tear down whoever they want. They make their own decisions. Ja-Morant, which is Ja-Morant's father, he might have talked to Ja-Morant already. We'll never know. We'll never know. Maybe if Ja-Morant changes pairs, that could help. Maybe if the Grizzlies hired security that they paid, that might help. Because he don't need his security being his friends with guns. That's making things worse now. There's a lot of gangsters that would trade places with Ja-Morant if that's what he want to do. Because he gonna pull that gun thing out on somebody and they might be about that life and the narrative might be written differently. Ja-Morant has to do better. All the young guys that's coming up, that's getting these big heads, they got to do better. They can't be out here thinking they're irreplaceable. The league needs them. Oh no, basketball don't need them. Basketball will build somebody up. There's always somebody in college just waiting to take your place. They might be in the league already. You can't be that irresponsible. Because now you look stupid. People are calling you a dummy. But that's all I had to add. Talk to you on the next video. Thanks for watching. Peace.